Hello there! Want to hear a random person explain the tired story of Sisyphus? No? Too bad. Alright, so our main character was the son of the god of southern wind. This means that Sisyphus was a demigod and likewise was a royal. He was very cunning and a pretty shy guy. He was a bit of a dick, but the one cool thing that he did was found the Isthmian Games in honor of Poseidon. They were basically the Olympics, but included music. And instead of winning medals, people would win celery hats. Pretty neat. But obviously he wasn't all good. He often lured people that he didn't like into his palace and then murdered them, which was a big no-no in Greece. Not the killing part, but the harm of guests. A big example of how much of a poopy face he was when he tried to kill his brother Salmoneus. To do this, he would use his genius plan of, sleeping with his daughter. The Oracle of Delphi told him that if he sired a kid with his niece, Tyro, then that kid would kill his brother. And when Tyro found out about this plot, she did a postpartum abortion. Nice! Luckily for Sisyphus, Salmoneus had a massive ego and tried to become Zeus, which pissed Zeus off. What Salmoneus did was he got all of his subjects together and they built a massive brass bridge, which would in theory be extremely loud and resonant, sounding like thunder when he would ride over it with his chariot. So, after getting all the props ready and dressing up, he got on his chariot and rode over the bridge, throwing fire torches as if they were thunderbolts. Zeus was obviously not happy with this, so he struck Salmoneus down and obliterated the entire town. Sisyphus also had some problems with Zeus. At some point, he witnessed Zeus abducting the daughter of a river god called Sisyphus. He told Sisyphus that he saw what happened, but being a crafty old bastard, extorted the river god by saying that he had to give him a water fountain first. So Sisyphus gave him his water fountain, and Sisyphus actually honored his bargain and told him who done it. Sisyphus gave up pretty fast, understandably. Zeus was really angry about Sisyphus narking on him like that. So he ordered Thanatos, the death god or grim reaper, to chain Sisyphus in Tartarus. Tartarus is basically like the Ohio of hell. But by the time that they got there, Sisyphus had already kind of rizzed up Thanatos. He asked him like, "Yo, I love chains. Can you show me how this weird chain works and how it's impossible for me to escape?" And somehow, by some miracle, the literal god was so gullible that they fell for it, allowing Sisyphus to escape and go back home. Problem was, the Thanatos guy, again, was the Grim Reaper, so if he was tied up, he can't kill anybody. And nobody being able to die is a big problem. And for some reason, the only person to act on this was Ares, the god of war. And he did this for the noble reason that war got boring when people no longer were able to die. Man, what a guy. With Thanatos freed, the gods now focused their attention on Sisyphus. And being extremely pissed off, the gods threatened to brutalize him if he didn't willingly die. Sisyphus was smart though. He told his wife not to bury him, only to put a coin under his mouth. You see, the Greeks put coins in their dead mouths because Greeks believed that you had to pay a gondolier named Charon to cross the river Styx into the domain of Hades, as well as giving the deceased proper funeral rites to even get there. Now, come to think of it, that's actually a pretty good inflation measure, like burying a bunch of coins constantly. That's really smart. Anywho, Sisyphus instructed her to dump his naked body into the public square as a sign of disrespect. When he soon died, he went to Persephone and told her, "Yo, my wife didn't give me proper funeral rites. How dare she? Can I go back real quick and abuse her one last time so that she gives me a proper burial? I pinky promise that I'll go right back to Tartarus." And since he pinky promised, Persephone believed that he couldn't possibly lie. So he was allowed to go back to the realm of the living. However, shockingly, Sisyphus just ghosted everyone and just hid so that he didn't have to go back. This didn't work out very well and Hermes just ended up dragging him there. His belief that he could outsmart the gods was quickly squashed as Zeus punished him with a fate worse than eternal restriction. Zeus gave him the task of pushing a big rock. You might think that's not too bad, especially since he has demigod strength. Problem was, it was a really big rock, and he had to push it uphill. And every time he reached to the top of the hill, it would just roll right back down. So what's the moral of the story? What can Sisyphus teach us? Well, don't be an asshole, and don't think you're smarter than everyone else. And running from your problems just doesn't work.